Why ban petrol?
Well, I'm going to need to put my glasses on for that because I've got notes.
Oh, here we go.
So in February this year, the EU has rubber stamped no more internal combustion engines by 2035. So that means there'll be no petrol diesel cars on sale in the EU from 2035. Just calm, let me finish. So a lot of the really big important countries, Germany, Italy, basically all the European countries that produce cars, obviously internal combustion is quite important to their business, they've banded together and they're protesting the decision because they say, why ban fossil fuel completely when we have e-fuels on the way? And we do have e-fuels on the way. Porsche is already making e-fuel. Yeah. So it's opened one factory in Chile. It's actually building another one in Australia, so quite close to us. So e-fuels make a conventional internal combustion, like any car, can make it basically carbon neutral.
Okay, so what are we making the e-fuel out of? Corn?
We're making it out of hydrogen and, not hydrogen, carbon dioxide and water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're extracting the carbon that's already in the atmosphere, using it to make the e-fuel,
It's a
which
tree!
then pops it back.
Yeah. And it's all done, the new factory runs on wind power as well. So it's a very environmentally friendly way of making fuel. It's not a particularly cheap way of making fuel at the moment, I don't think, but there's potential there. So this new plant, just to put it into context, this new plant in a few years will be making 550 million litres per year. Now, to put that into context, New Zealand's fuel use in 2021, which was the most recent figure I could find, was 3,000 million litres per year. So it wouldn't even cover a sixth of New Zealand's fuel use, but it's a start. And so the countries are arguing, this is an equally valid way of dealing with the environmental concerns around cars as EVs. So, Porsche, to use Porsche as an example, because it's the company making this fuel, they're going big on EVs. But they also say e-fuels are really important. And I guess for a company like Porsche, e-fuels means they can keep making stuff like 911s with petrol engines, which are very important.
Well, they've also expressed the concept that it's keeping their older cars going too.
Correct.
They want all their...
Of course.
the 911 has got the highest ratio of cars built
that
are still on the road type of thing, so they want to look after all those.
Yeah. So it's fuel for thought.
Did you write that down?
I did. I made a note of that.
My question is this, because obviously aviation makes up the vast majority of the combustion, what's it called, the fuel that we use. Yep. And my understanding is they kind of make that and then the petrol's kind of left over and that's where they use that. So how does that play out now in terms of how we use that? I mean, that's a deep question.
You know more about it than me. Yeah.
So I guess we just, to make this transition, we have to wait for aviation to do the same thing. Otherwise, we're just left over with a whole lot of petrol that doesn't get used. Is that?
Oh, I don't know. You know a lot more about it than me.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm in that whole situation with this, with just a little bit of knowledge is dangerous.
Well, I'm a little bit the same too.
Yeah.
But I know that Porsche has said, the advantage of e-fuel is they've got a new factory, but it's located in places close to shipping, so it can be shipped with the same infrastructure as normal petrol. Cool. It can be delivered through the same infrastructure. You can go down to your local fuel station and fill up with it. So, it's promising. It's a wee way off. They're starting to use it in motorsport.
Yes.
And then they're going to extend out into other things.
Well, I mean, that motorsport, V8 Supercars runs on E85, which is an ethanol-based product, which is made from, corn or whatever. Well, actually, I think in New Zealand, a vast majority of our E85 ethanol-based fuel is actually a byproduct of the dairy industry, isn't it?
Yeah, dairy, So they're going motorsport and then the Porsche Experience Centres, which are the customer centres where you go for drive days and things. So there are going to be normal cars running on it. So that's cool.
Nice.